So today we have a part 2 on the Bedley story. You guys know that we had Sergi on, the CEO of Outpost Club, last week. Right when his episode aired on Friday, we were then reached out to by PlaceMe. So Clara is the founder and CEO of PlaceMe in Boston. They actually just had a press release that went out last week talking about the fact that they picked up a big portion of Bedley's Boston portfolio to now become the largest co-living company in Boston. You guys can see the press release. We'll have it linked. Obviously they're very excited to help out and to pick up the difference. And obviously, PlaceMe launched 2016. And as you hear in this interview, they have, maybe $500,000 in funding. And Bedley had launched earlier. They're a veteran in the game and had raised over $7 million of capital. And me and Clara kind of dive into, the difference between, what happens when you take on VC money as a co-living operation and where the focus changes and shifts. And so it was a really interesting conversation. I know they're super busy trying to onboard all the new residents. I think they took over about 25 total in Boston. And she personally has over 7 years of experience in the real estate industry. She launched her own company in 2016, prior being a co-founder and a team member at 2 other real estate technology startups. She graduated from Accelerator, which is a nationally ranked accelerator that invests in high-growth startups. She's an active member of the Boston startup community, and she serves as advisor, board leader, and growth consultant, and focuses on strengthening startups with solid value propositions. She works mainly on strategy and performance improvement in the real estate tech space. And she is a first cohort of Fellow of Latinos for Education, a nonprofit which prepares Latino leaders to serve on education boards nationwide. And she currently personally serves as a board member at Breakthrough Greater Boston. She received her MBA from Holt International Business School, where she won 2 innovation awards in the consulting and entrepreneurship clubs. So enjoy this part 2. Again, we weren't expecting to have 2 separate founders of the different co-living concepts that picked up Bedley's units. However, we're super excited to get even more insight on what happened. So enjoy this week's episode. Hello, everybody. It's Christine here with another episode of the Co-Living Code Show. This is actually a part 2 of the Bedley discussion, because I was not aware that Clara, who she is the founder and CEO of PlaceMe in Boston, and they've been around for a few years already. Actually, you guys can view, we actually had one of your team members. She was amazing. We had her on the show back in April to talk about PlaceMe. And now we have the founder on to talk about the units that they actually grabbed, which again, I didn't know this. So I'm glad I saw the press release that you guys grabbed all of Bedley's Boston units. And how many was that total?
Hi, thanks for having me. We don't grab all, we grab the most that were available for us, about 50 units.
Great, Clara. And let's go back. Let's talk a little bit for those that don't know PlaceMe. Talk about when you launched and why you launched PlaceMe in Boston.
Yes, sure. So PlaceMe started a little late in 2016, early 2017. And this is my 3rd startup in real estate technology. I have or 2 before, and with this trying to address the same problem of issue of affordability for young professional grad students and everybody that moves to Boston to start or to the city to start a new career, and where the job market is not attached to the real estate market. So that's where Coliving comes and solve the problem.
I love that. And it's so nice because we don't have enough female CEOs on my show, right? It's a lot of guys that come on typically. So it's nice to have a female on. So how many, yeah, I know, right? So how many units total does PlaceMe manage right now? I know you guys are growing fast.
Right now we're in 152 units.
152. And you guys started in 2016?
We did our market test January 2017, and we have been growing ever since.
Nice. That's exciting. So we would love to hear again. We had Sergi on last week to talk about, what from his perspective, again, like everything happened very fast, we weren't sure exactly how it happened. And the press, of course, ran with the story. I would love to hear kind of your perspective of what happened, how you found out about it.
Well, Bedley CEO reached out to me like 2 days before August to tell me about the opportunity that we have to make a partnership and take over from properties or continue the relationship with landlords and with tenants that they already have the Coliving in Boston. It is difficult for me to understand what happened or to know what happened because they were again pioneers in the industry, back in 2015, 16. But as Sergey said, I agree with him. It's a balancing act between operations, managing finances, selling, and also growing. So I cannot actually comment on what happened to Bedley, but I think Martin or any other co-founder will be able to do it. But at the end, it's also supporting the tenants that were left without a place to live and having already booked a place with Bedley, which is they can no longer honor. So we try to be as helpful as possible within that transition.
Nice. And so you guys negotiated directly with each landlord and just took over started new leases?
Correct. So all Bedley leases ended at the end of August. So we negotiated with every landlord a new lease starting September and on for the same Coliving model, and also we negotiated with the tenants that is because one company closes, the other take over. We have different process, different methods, different customer service, a lot of things. So it's not like they can just jump straight from one to the other. They have to onboard into a platform onto the community as well. And we're very happy to be able to onboard as much as possible from those 50.
You said there was how many total?
From Bedley?
Yes.
About 50, and from those we took almost a little over half already with us. So it was as smooth as possible as a transition. Now we're just doing operations.
Okay. Because you're 3 weeks in, right? Into transferring everybody.
3 weeks in, little sleep, lots of coffee, but we have everything under control, fortunately, right now. Yeah.
Oh, good. Lots of coffee. Okay. That's your secret.
As a Colombian, I have to, yes.
Of course. So it's been a busy few weeks, it sounds like. So now what do you recommend? And again, I know Sergi touched on it from his perspective too. Like, what would your advice, you're a savvy business owner. You guys are doing a great job with PlaceMe. Like, what's some solutions, some advice for those, operators that are kind of on the cusp of like, okay, are we running out of cash? What do we do? Like, do you have any advice to kind of help catch this sooner?
I think that's a great question. Fantastic question. I think many founders, it depends where your funding is coming from. If you get VC funding, you're going to get a lot of pressure for growth really quickly, and you don't care much about burning cash, paying for vacancies, taking care of vacancies, or without spending that doesn't make sense as a company that grows. So we are very conservative in our spending. We're very almost frugal and very judiciary in the way that we manage our company, regardless of how much money is in the bank. We stick to a budget. So when you have a lot of VC and push for growth, you can be out of sight, and then you forgot if you don't have a team that complements the growth versus what you spend, then this will happen. And also make sure that you have enough margin to cover everything, because if you buy really high and then sell really low, and only for the sake of growth, that is not sustainable as well. So in that sense, you still have to be a bit conservative.
And then have you guys, I know you did an accelerator program. So in Boston there, was it Generator? Which one was it?
We did Generator, but Generator is based in Milwaukee. It's the biggest accelerator in the Midwest. It's similar to Techstars or Mass Challenge, but it's based in Milwaukee. So we did the class of Milwaukee. They only take 6 startups out of 700 that apply every year. So we were happy to be one of those 6.
Awesome. And then, so have you guys taken any funding, whether that's VC money, angel, like how are you guys funded?
Oh, we are seed funded. We took funding from the Accelerator program round, and with the pre-seed round, we have been able to grow. And now we're preparing for the next round of funding after the September rush is all taken care of.
Yeah, trying to transfer. And then, and I think, Clara, I think you brought up a great point about the VC. I mean, venture capital. I mean, that is the name of the game. It's just like pushing growth on the top line as fast as you can. And then sometimes that hurts, like the whole company, you make decisions a little bit differently.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if it's a blessing on these guys, but in things, I think sometimes this is like a David versus Goliath kind, because Belly raised $7 million, and we have raised under $500,000, and I mean, we ended, taking care of them, not the other way around, right? So it's like, okay, what does that say? It is expensive. Is about how do you manage to grow? How do you manage your finances? How smart you are in terms of occupancy. So you can have 300 rooms, but your occupancy is 50%, then you're not making any progress.
Yeah, good point. That's perfect.
So it is, what is the name of the game? The name of the, yeah.
And then, so from the renter perspective, coming into the Boston market, finding a place to live, I don't want them to read these stories about like, oh no, how do we know it's not going to get shut down? So what would your advice be for the actual co-livers that are coming in, trying to find a place to live? Is there certain questions they should ask? Is there things they should check?
Oh, wow, fantastic question. I love it. Well, see how long the company has been on the market. What are the online reviews, if any? So I will check what are the online reviews, and if they can guarantee that your lease is going to be for the same property for the whole period of time. Like it's a because I saw that many on the previous companies have different leases. Oh, only can have 3 months in this property and 4 months in the other property because we cannot guarantee that the lease will be renewed. Then just find a place that a location that can guarantee that you can stay in one location for the whole period of time. That would be another one, and that your price will be the same for the period of time that you signed the lease for or the agreement for.
And then do you guys do 6-month leases or annual?
We do, our minimum is 3 months, but it's until September. We do 3 months mostly in the summer or like any other time of the year, but September or minimum September is 6, 9, and 12.
Okay. Do you guys have a lot of students?
Actually, no. Like the majority of our customers are young people that move here because they got a job, or they're researchers, or researchers in different industry fields, or they move from anywhere else in the country or in the country or in the world because they join a company here and start a new career. I would say maybe between 30 and 35% of our customers are graduate students.
Okay, nice. Graduate students, yeah. Then, and so we'd love to hear like what's in the future for PlaceMe, like any upcoming locations, new cities, like any fun stuff you could talk about.
Well, certainly. We want to keep up with the funding round so we can really continue with the market leader in Boston and reach out our goal of at least 400 to 600 bedrooms in the next couple of years. And then after that, we'll be able to open in a couple new cities that you will be the first to know when we're ready. I promise.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. Well, I know you've got your coffee and you've got plenty to do. So thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for stepping in and just helping, these people obviously transition, not have to move out of their homes. They're in Boston, and then just making it an easy transition. So I'm so glad you came on.
My pleasure. And we're here to support all the Boston community as well.
Thank you so much for checking out today's episode. If you want to learn more about co-living, you could check out my book on Amazon, The Co-Living Code. And of course, if you're looking for the perfect software to power your co-living concept, check out kindred.io, KNDRD.io. Thanks. And a quick thank you to SPX Agency for all of the graphics, animation, and design on our YouTube channel.